both on the earth, in the sky, and under the sea. Sir, in our own humble way, we are trying to create ignited minds at NIT Raipur in collaboration with Madhysth Darshan. Very humbly, now I invite His Excellency, the President of India, for his address and interaction with the students.
Friends, good evening to all of you. I have talked to nearly 500,000 students, and so far I have met various circumstances, and first time I am in the school, National Institute of Technology, and with a different view. That is how we learn technology, we become experts in technology. Is it sufficient? I'm very happy to see the Raipur students of National Institute of Technology. You are asking this question. Becoming an engineer, becoming a technologist, and becoming a CEO, and became a great managers, leaders, that's where does it end in one human life? That's question. Some of you students go to Abhyudaya Sasthan at Chodi and get Nagraj's views, how everything is within us and how we can harvest the best within us. It is indeed is a beautiful message, and the institution like NIT involved in this. I'm very happy. I congratulate all of you. Now I thought of talking to you something which is universally today is indeed a big problem. You know, world has seen 2 world wars, World War I and II, born in Europe and came to Asia, and particularly Japan with the nuclear warfare. That is the Second World War. Then United Nations was formed in 1945 with the mission that any conflict within the nations, after all, conflict within the nation starts from conflict with people, then it goes to the conflict of the nation. And it should be resolved by United Nations before it turns into a battle or a war. Unfortunately, recently 2 wars took place, one in Iraq, another in Afghanistan. In spite of United Nations, these 2 wars took place, and the net result, the terrorism, is becoming international now, and it's spreading. Now, in such a situation, is there any solution? This is really, we have to ask ourselves. I'm glad that Raipur NIT is in the right path. But I have built a model. This model I want to share with you. When Nagraj visited me, Rashtrapati Bhavan, I also shared with him. The model goes like that. I call it 3-dimensional model of evolving the enlightened citizen. How do you evolve an enlightened citizen? What are the parameters to become the enlightened citizens? The evolution of enlightened citizen, today I want to share with you, it has got 3 dimensions. What are the 3 dimensions? If you want to a peace in a village or in a district or in a state or in a country or within the countries globally, it has to start from its own citizen. We are in the planet Earth, about 6 billion people are there. 6 billion people, nearly 1/6 of the population in India. So any new innovation we do in our thinking, definitely it can become a model for the world. For the world, it can become a model. That's my view. Now, the enlightened citizen say, a three-dimensional solution for evolving the enlightened citizen. It has got 3 dimensions, I told you. The first one, the education with value system. I am glad your institution is engaged in it. Apart from learning technology, education with value system. Second one, this is the most toughest. How do you transfer religions into the spiritual force? Can we do that? This is the second dimension. Third dimension, that you cannot have poverty one place and prosperity another place, and still you want a peace throughout the world. It's a big question mark. That means you need an integrated approach to evolve an enlightened citizen, education value system, and transforming the religion into spiritual force, then removing the poverty through building a prosperity in the nations. Very tough job, but a tough job will be done by tough people. The history shows all tough people intellectually, they do the tough problems. So India has to do the tough problems for the world's sake. Now, education value system, how do you build? One is to understanding yourself, that you have everything, only you have to ask questions, you get an answer, and empower yourself. But when you are a student, for example, I will share you an experience what I had. When I was in 1950s, I was college, and there I was in the Jesuit institution, St. Joseph's College, Trichinopoli. There is one of the highest body or highest system they have, what is called rector. Reverend Father Rector is the highest person in the system of Jesuit system in a college. So Reverend Father Kalathil, he will come every Monday at 9 o'clock. He took class for the six science students, 6 classes of the science students, including mathematics, nearly about 250 students. He will take class for 1 hour. What does he do in the 1 hour? His name is Reverend Father Kalathil. He takes a class. One day, he will talk about Swami Vivekananda and how he thought, what is philosophy of life, how he understood religion as a spiritual force. Next day he will come, he will talk about Omar Khalifa. Omar Khalifa, how when he conquered the place Jerusalem, how he treated himself as he is not the Khalifa of Jerusalem, he is one of the citizens, and his way of life highly spiritual. Next week he will talk about Abraham Lincoln, and sometimes he will talk about another week Einstein's, and then Srinivasa Ramanujam, our mathematician, and then Sir C.V. Raman, our Nobel laureate. So every week he was giving in our young age of the good human beings, not only scientists alone, how the scientists, even the great scientists, lived with value system. He focused their life from boyhood, the grown up, how they have come in. So this was a great lesson for us. When we 2 years, when you're hearing every week a lesson, actually see embedded in a young age, you are of 17, 18, 19, and then you are the great men, how the young boys and girls, they have become a great men. They become a scientist, a philosopher, spiritual leaders, and teachers, professors, how these people have grown. This is embedded in my mind. Always I felt the education when I got from that institution, I had two parts. One is the best of physics I learned, and then best of value system, human value system. And this is trigger your mind how to be a good human being. So friends, my suggestion is the education value system, it has to be universal. It cannot be done at Chhattisgarh alone. It has to be done throughout the country and throughout the world. Just like UNESCO, we need a very active, dynamic body to see that up to the age of 17, the education with value system, apart from real education, the value system is also indeed a partner to the education. This should be taught throughout the world. This is the first requirement. Now, then the second challenge is going to be how do we transform? I have visited throughout the country. Abroad I have visited 40 nations. Wherever I go to religious leaders, talk to them. And whenever I go to religious leaders, I met all the religious leaders in the country, and also abroad some of them. And when I am with them, I find always I am in the today also I met to Muniji, a famous Muniji, today morning. Whenever I see the religious leaders, I find I am in the beautiful garden full of fragrant flowers and birds and whatnot. But when I come out of them, I found I was living in an island. Because every religion is an island. But it should be bridged. Unless it is bridged, that religion should be island only. Now how do we bridge it? Religion has got two components. The first component, theology. Every religion has got a theology. Another component of the religion is spiritualism. Every religion has got spiritualism. You name any religion has got spiritualism. This theological side of a religion nobody can touch. Because it's unique for every religion. We don't need to touch also. But what is important is the bridge what you can make of the religions. You can definitely, the spiritualism, common factor, that is, for example, help your people when they are pain. Every citizen should help, every religion says that. And the poverty is a curse. You help to come out of the poverty, God will bless you, every religion says. So friends, the spiritual components, through that can we connect. I would like to give an example. I have experienced how in India, a religion can be transformed into a spiritual force. A spiritual leader, a scientific leader, when they met, they did it. I witnessed in my own eyes in India, in southern part of India. Somewhere 1960, Vikram Sarabhai, Professor, my guru, Professor Vikram Sarabhai, he is a cosmic ray scientist. He wanted to establish a space research center near the equatorial region so that he can study the electrojet characteristics. So he selected Tumba in the near Thiruvananthapuram. We are all worked in the Tumba. So he wanted the land, nearly about 400, 500 acres of the land for scientific research institution, to establish the space research institution. He tried his best with bureaucracy. He tried his best from the religious, from the political leaders. All of them said very difficult to get the land what my guru wanted, Professor Vikram Sarabhai wanted, because that's the place has got a church. That's the place has got a bishop, he himself lives there. That's the place thousands of fishing folks, they live there, their livelihood. Very difficult. So some political leaders said to Professor Vikram Sarabhai, the great scientist and cosmic ray scientist, space research scientist, who is the founder of the Indian Space Research Organization, well, Professor Vikram Sarabhai, only one person can help you to get this land for your research is Reverend Father Peter Pereira. Reverend Father Peter Pereira, that is Vikram Sarabhai, Professor Vikram Sarabhai, met him one Saturday. I still remember that day. And then he said, Father, I need your land. But I tell you, in 9 to 10 months time, I will build whatever I take from that land. I will provide you. You have to help me for scientific research. Reverend Father Peter Pereira was surprised. Oh, Vikram, how can you ask my habitat, my God's habitat, that is church, my children's habitat, fisherman habitat, how can you? So difficult. But both of them, they good. They were become friendly because they can smile. Smile, the impedance matched. Bishop said, you come Sunday for congregation to church. Next day was a Sunday, and Professor Vikram Sarabhai went to the church. And his church, the Sunday, it was a Sunday, the congregation was going on, and the bishop was studying the Bible to his children. At the end of the congregation, he called Professor Vikram Sarabhai to dais. He introduced Professor Vikram Sarabhai like this. My dear children, tell his people, the fishermen folk who were assembled there, here he is a scientist. What a scientist does, he gives, for example, electricity has come from out of science. And then the fishing boats have come out of the construction, comes from the science. Then the food production increases out of science because of the seed and the fertilizer discoveries. And so like that, so many scientific advancement has come to enrich the human lives. And he says, Peter Pereira, Reverend Father Peter, say, what as a bishop I am doing? Nothing but I pray to the people for their peace and happy life. So one side, science work for the prosperity of the human life, and the religion looks at how peace and happiness can go to the family, individual and the family. So my dear children, Peter Pereira says, Reverend Father Pereira says, now he wants my habitat, your habitat, and also he wants God's habitat, church, and he says he will return it everything beautiful way. Can he give up, my dear children? He asked Peter Pereira. There was a pin drop silence the whole place. And then suddenly all the people who come congregation got up. We Amen, they said. It means the church was given for the scientific research. What if today among us, Professor Vikram Sarabhai is not there, Reverend Dr. Peter Bernard Pereira is not there, but those who are responsible for creation make the flower blossom will themselves to be a different kind of flower as described in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says, see the flower, how generously it distributes perfume and honey. It gives to all, gives freely of its love. When its work is done, it falls away quietly. Try to be like the flower, unassuming despite all its qualities. What a beautiful message for all generation of this nation on integration of minds and universal minds. Nowhere in the world a church has been given for a scientific research. It has happened in India. It is a great message to be spread. The message is the best component of religion can be transformed into a spiritual force that will shape the society. Do you agree? Agree? Let me now discuss with you the third component of the enlightened society for transforming the developing nation into a developed nation through achieving economic prosperity. How do you do that? We have in India 220 million people are below poverty line. We have got a plan by 2020, before 2020, we have to increase our GDP growth to 10%, and there are 5 areas have been identified. If we work before 2020, the 220 million people can be lifted up from the poverty. Similarly, every nation in the world definitely can do with their core competence. So friends, I would like to conclude human evolution is accompanied by conflicts and problems. I have presented a dynamic model which calls for transformation of the world community into a prosperous, peaceful and happy society through 3 major components: education with value system, and then the transforming religion into spiritual force, third, and lifting the people from the poverty or the developing the nation to live prosperous way. Dear friends, I heard a divine hymn in a spiritual atmosphere. I am going to recite. May I request you to join me. You are all ready? You can join me? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. My best wishes to all the members of NIT, success in their mission of promoting value-based technical education among the students. May God bless you all. Now I have sufficient time now to have number of questions I have received you. One question can you ask Wali Muhammad Khan? Where are you? Where are you?
Yes, sir.
Speak. What do you ask? 2 questions. We ask only 1 question.
Sir, I want to ask you a question about Vision 2020.
Yes.
Sir, in the building of entrepreneurs, so that the dream can be succeeded.
Now I have a ministry along with a degree course, along with every degree course, including technical education. There is a need for a full-fledged entrepreneurship course of 6 months duration with award of diploma. That is, when a person goes from the college, he not only will a degree, you will have a diploma. The aim of the course is to inculcate the spirit of I can do it among the student. This course must provide case studies on success stories of entrepreneurs. Also, it must train the students about the successful working with the banking system, particularly for
President of India. Sir, in my whole teenage, 2 topics that touch me the most. The very first one is, all developments are for the satisfaction of humans, and on the contrary of it, we say that dissatisfaction is the only base of development. What one can conclude from it. Second point of concern is, very few technology and the misuse of most of the technology that have damaged the nature most.
the question, and the progress also is depends on what a scientific question, what useful question you ask. So it is a complete process. For example, when you see the aircraft flying, an aircraft can carry passengers, aircraft can carry the bombs also, but the aircraft technology is innocent. Aircraft technology innocent, but the user can make it a fighter, make it a bomber, or he can make it a passenger jet or a fighter. So it looks to me that there only the value system comes. You say the nuclear technology, nuclear science, it gives the light, it increases the food production by irradiation, it treats the cancer, it also makes the bomb. You take the fertilizer increase the food production, and then at the same time you can do the chemical weapons also. So it is a science leads to technology. The technology has to be used by people who have certain capacity to look at the peace of the nation, to keep the peace of the nation and happiness of the people. Okay? And next, last question. Last question. Shubhanka Banerjee.
Should deal with or how I should live in harmony with my relations, especially in family. And sir, so how can I be successful in living my relations perfectly in future?
I have a feeling that I have given you one experience in my class, humanity institution. The education with the value system is very important. And second thing is, you should be the institution like NIT or any IIT or any institution. Definitely they should see the good human beings are being in contact with students. As students interact with the good human beings. The second thing. Third thing, you should be lucky enough to have a joint family system, and your way of life will improve if you are the joint family system. Okay? So these are the things. Now,
Thank you, sir.
Now I would like to other questions. You can send me to my website email. Website is www.presidentofIndia.nic.in. I will definitely answer within 24 hours. Wish you all the best. God bless you all.
Thank you so much.
I have a set of books I want to give to your director in charge of concept. For your university library, these are the books I would like to.
Thank you so much, His Excellencies, for your inspiring thoughts, guidance and blessings. Now I request Director in Charge Professor Hon'ble to present mementos to His Excellency the President of India, His Excellency Governor of Chhattisgarh, Honorable Chief Minister. I request Shri Somdev Tyagi, Coordinator of Vidya Sansthan, who has been a force behind all our efforts by conducting 97 one-week residential workshops for our students to deliver the vote of thanks. Somji, please deliver the vote of